Good afternoon. My name's Thomas Hardy. I'm a proud resident of Vero Beach since 2013. Originally from Massachusetts, I have immersed myself in the world of journalism as a member of the National Press Club, the Society of Professional Journalists, and the Columbia Journalism Review. Additionally, I'm actively involved with a local organization mentoring roughly 150 third, fourth, and fifth graders on how to become journalists.
That must be wild.
It's amazing. We're teaching them how to write sentences. Today, I have the privilege of interviewing Kitty Norton for Vero Vine. Kitty is making her debut as a director with an extraordinary documentary entitled Wine, Women, and Dementia. The captivating film recently received the prestigious Jury Award for Feature Documentary at the Vero Beach Film Festival. I highly, and I mean that, recommend getting tickets to witness this remarkable production firsthand, as it will be showing throughout the weekend. Please join me in supporting Kitty Norton and experiencing the power of wine, women, and dementia on the big screen. So, Kitty, as you exposed in your film, the world is facing a crisis as baby boomers like me age into dementia. The U.S. is no exception, with an estimated 16 million unpaid dementia family caregivers currently punching dementia in the face every day while trying to keep their dementia loved ones and themselves afloat emotionally, physically, and financially. Your documentary, Wine, Women, and Dementia, exposes the isolation, financial stress, physical and emotional toll these family caregivers shoulder for their dementia loved ones and themselves. It is the story of dementia life through the eyes of the family caregiver. Through intimate, humorous, heartfelt conversations, you explore what it means to be a dementia family caregiver, the hilarity, the horror, the devotion that keeps you going. It is a tough, tough journey, but doable with a little help from your friends. So, can I ask you a few questions?
Absolutely.
First of all, can you take a few moments to share who you are in your own words? What did you do before you decided to make this film, and what did you love most about the filmmaking process?
So I started my kind of professional career working in nonprofit theater, regional theater, and I was on the development side, which meant I took care of donors and I helped get the solicitations out. And but I was always around great stories. We had just amazing stories on stage every year, every season. In 2008, when the bottom was dropping out of the economy, I finally said, I don't want to try and raise money anymore. I've done this and I'm had a good time and I'm out. I'm done. So I went back to school, as most people, a lot of people did, and I got into filmmaking. And what I really loved was post-production. I wasn't much of a production girl, but I loved editing. I loved helping a director find their story in the footage. So I got a job on Grimm here in Portland, Oregon, which was being filmed here. And I was just a little production PA at, 48. I was like the oldest production PA ever. And they knew I wanted to go into editing. So the second season, they sent me down to LA to work in the post-production office as a PA. And that's what I was doing. I became an assistant editor for several NBC shows. The last show I was hired on was the first season of This Is Us. We already knew Mom had her dementia diagnosis. She was diagnosed in 2010. And I knew at some point I would come home and help my dad. But what none of us knew was Dad was going to get pancreatic cancer and die 3 weeks from his diagnosis. So that was the summer of 2016. And it was just, I gotta go. I gotta go home. I gotta go home. I gotta give up this gig. I gotta give up this career. And I gotta go take care of mom with my sister. So I dragged the boyfriend back and from LA, and we moved into my mother's basement. It's just, just every boy's dream to live with this girlfriend in her mom's basement. So that was the earlier part.
Now, people have been caring for their parents since forever. We are entering now a new era of modern medicine, which enables people to live longer and outlast their bodies and retirement funds. What is the most high-level understanding of what is going on here, and what do you think seems to be the most pressing issues for caregivers? You met with several of the people you connected with via your caregiving blog. Were there big common needs between everyone?
Yes. And this is actually one of the big reasons why I made this film. Dementia, you often get told as a caregiver, when you ask a question of the medical personnel, it's like, is this normal? Is this right? Is it, are other people going through this? And the response is inevitably, well, every dementia person is different. And that's sure, because the brain's different, the family resources are different, where they live is different. Yes. So that in effect is true. However, there are very similar things that the dementia journey is going to bring up. Almost everybody's going to sundown. Some people are going to go through the rage stage. Finances, everybody's going to struggle with finances. There are some commonalities through this journey that I was never told about. I didn't have any idea. Every time we hit a stage, it was like, what's going on? This isn't normal for my mom. Is it normal for dementia? And that's really one of the reasons why I wanted to make a film where caregivers just saw other caregivers talking about what this is really like, and the things that you're probably going to come up against. Finances are huge. People don't understand. It's a very expensive disease because it's a very long disease, and you just don't know. At some point in the film, my friend Roseanne, who took care of her mom in her home, talks about the math, the equation. How much do we have? How long are they going to live? And that's a terrible problem to have to think about your dementia loved one, whether it's a spouse or a parent. You have to do this math that you don't even want to think about. You're like, well, okay, we'll be fine if she only lives 5 years. That's a horrible place to be, but it's what you have to do.
Now, your documentary shows a diverse set of dementia stories, but what viewers feel, as I did, is the universality
There you go. I was worrying that one too.
of the phenomenon. Did you set out to do that on purpose, and what do you hope viewers will take away from it? How did you decide to make the film, and why, and what was your intention and purpose?
I've been writing a blog. I think I started in 2018. So we were in this for 5 years with Mom, and the last 3 years I was writing. And again, it goes back to always being involved in storytelling. After Mom died, even before, I was feeling this real need for freedom to just walk away from all of this. And when Mom died, I thought, that's what I'm going to do. And what I really wanted to do was go meet these 5 caregivers who everybody who read the blog, everybody who sent me emails or contacted me or commented on the posts were important to me. But these 5 had particularly become very substantial in our journey with their support and their humor and everything else. And I thought, I want to go meet these people. I want to go meet these people. I want to bring them a bottle of wine, and I want to sit around and just in person laugh and cry and do the things that we do virtually to support each other face to face. So that's how it started. And then I thought, well, if I'm going to do that, maybe those conversations would be really important to other caregivers. Why don't I get a film crew, and see if I can afford that and come back and see if I've got a film. And it all kind of blossomed from there. These people were crazy enough to just let me in their house with a few bottles of wine. And we ended up filming the journey. I bought an old RV, put Mom's face all over it. I had that freedom of the journey for me, of the trip, and I got to meet these people face to face, and it was so wonderful. And it was really healing. It was really, to have these conversations with these people was amazing. The crew would wrap and we would just keep talking because we just had so much caregiver smack to vomit up to each other and go through. And when I got home, I was like, yeah, this is the footage I wish I would have seen in 2016 when I started. Somebody giving us their experience. So yeah, the best thing I did was hire a fantastic post-production to help me put it together, and a wonderful editor. So we got a film out of it, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Why is humor? I'm curious why humor. I mean, you obviously emphasize humor and wine. How do you create a humorous environment with somebody with dementia?
Well, one of my big goals for the film is that people understand that once you get a diagnosis of dementia, you didn't just die. There's still life. There's a lot of life. This is a long disease, and you cannot be continuously stuck in the tragedy narrative. Most of us what I experienced and what the caregivers that I knew experienced, most of us had a really tough, first 6 months or first year, first whatever. We had the gut punches. We had the things when the first time your dementia person doesn't remember your name. That's tough. Forget your birthday, but you let it go. You let it go because that's just not who they are anymore. And you need to figure out who they are, because there's a whole life. There's dementia life. It's the end of life journey. It's not the beginning of death. And humor was very important in my family. My sister and I both have the sense of humor that my parents invested us with, in my extended family. So we just found the things to make the day better for Mom, for ourselves. And it didn't always work. There is tragedy in dementia. You can't get around that. But our sense of humor helped us process and be better caregivers, because if we could laugh about it, that means we weren't out on the back porch crying the entire day, and those things happened, but they didn't happen as often as they would have had we not been able to really see dementia as the absurdity that it is and go with it. Mom used to for some reason she stopped using the garbage can and started throwing everything that she felt was garbage out the screen door on the back porch, and it would land in the yard. And at one point, I was like, well, at least her throwing arm's getting stronger. She's getting farther and further closer to the fence back there. It's just like, after you pick up the garbage in the yard, 10 times, you kind of have to come up with a way to make it palatable to you and humorous, and find something fun about it.
You mentioned your sister. Apparently, you had a complex relationship with her, and how, if would you feel comfortable sharing anything that might benefit siblings who are having to deal with this?
Yeah, my sister and I still have a complex relationship. Love each other to death. Often want to just strangle each other. Um, this is a really, really difficult journey. It's hard on your dementia person. It's hard on you. I know when you're having troubles in your family already with siblings, it behooves all of you to put that shit aside and to try and work on this together, to try and figure out who's got what strength. Okay, I can be boots on the ground. Who can take over the finances? Who can make sure all our legal is in order? Who can do the medical? You know, a lot of stuff. Sometimes siblings don't live close to their parents, and one gets stuck with it, and then the others are just like, oh, that's what they do. Well, there's tons of things that can be done. There's a million ways to be a caregiver, and there's tons of things that can be done online. Um, you don't have to be the person there all the time. Help with the financial planning. Uh, if you've got one sibling doing the heavy lifting, the other siblings pitch in to help get in-home care so they can get some time away. It's a really rough road, and the more a family can pull together to help their dementia person, the better it is for everybody. And that goes, and if you don't have family, that goes for community. You cannot get through this by yourself. My dad tried and he died of pancreatic cancer. It's just, he didn't have time to take care of himself. He didn't have time to figure it out. We weren't here. I wasn't here. I was down in LA. And that happens a lot. You, you just got to put the hard stuff aside for the time being and then fight afterwards. Once your dementia person's moved on to their next adventure, just have at it. But during the journey, try and pull it together.
So now, let's have you let our audience know or where to see the film.
Oh my gosh.
All the details, where to sign up, how to get on your mailing list, how to get on your book.
Yes, please subscribe to winewomenanddementia.com. Get on the mailing list. You'll be the first to know when we've got a screening coming up. We are playing the Vero Beach Film Festival, and we're so very excited. Like you said, we won the jury award winning feature documentary film. I have to read it because it's kind of a long award title, but so we're going to be playing twice. We're playing Thursday, June 8th at noon, and that's going to be at the Vero Beach Museum of Art. So that's incredibly exciting. And then our second screening is Saturday, June 10th, again at noon, and that's at the IRC Commission Chamber. So all that information is on the Vero Beach Film Festival website. It's on our website. There's links to purchase your tickets and passes. I'm coming. I have 3 girlfriends coming with me, so I'll do a Q&A. One of them is actually in the film, so she'll probably be helping me with Q&As. We're just our own little shit show, so it's very fun to come meet us. And I love to meet the caregivers. So excited, so very excited.
Well, it's been wonderful being with you for this time. And personally, I just thought that everybody ought to watch. I don't know how old you ought to be to watch it, but I mean, a 50-year-old's got an 80-year-old parent. It's really awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for saying that. And age doesn't matter in caregiving. What I have been most impressed with in the last year or so is the millennials on TikTok who are caring for parents who have like early onset parents. They are amazing the way they're sharing their stories. And that resource was not available, 8 years ago or 7 years ago when I started. So all of us, we no longer want to be quiet. We're caregivers living out loud now. We're like, here's what we're going through. Here's how you can help us. Here's how you can help our dementia loved one. Be there. Show up. It's a journey we're taking.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Thomas.